Well, traffic picking up as Denver Public Schools get back to class today, Colorado's largest school district, and they will see several changes at school this year. Brian Sanders is at East High School. And Brian, of course, East High School, the focus of so much negative attention last year. Perhaps a fresh start now on this first day of school.
That is the hope. That is the hope, and it's looking like a beautiful morning out here. No movement around campus just yet. Of course, school doesn't start until 8:20 this morning, but yeah, in addition to the first day excitement and nerves comes the hope for a fresh start, a reset after a tense and unsettling end to last school year that was highlighted by youth violence, specifically here at East High School. 2 students were shot near campus last school year, one of them fatally. The death of 16-year-old soccer player Luis Garcia really shook the community. And then a month later in March, 2 deans shot and injured here on campus as part of a weapons search, and the shooter later took his own life. But it led to a very heated response by then Mayor Michael Hancock, Police Chief Ron Thomas, the Denver Public School Board, parents, all engaging in these discussions of whether or not to bring SROs back to campus, which they did for the remainder of last school year. And that will continue into this school year. After several meetings, they have decided to keep SROs on campus at 13 different high schools. Each SRO will have to undergo 40 hours of basic training required by the state. There will be 2 SROs here at East High School because this is the largest school in the district, an enrollment of about 2,500 students. So the final safety plan was approved in July, and the district is now working on a memo of understanding, an MOU, with the new administration under Mayor Mike Johnston and Chief Thomas about the parameters of this new partnership. And I had a chance to ask Superintendent Dr. Alex Marrero about what the transition will look like now with parents and students. Is there a plan to reintroduce SROs on campus, formally let the kids know this is the face that will be roaming the halls, or do they just kind of start building those relationships organically? Great question. I think in terms of the most immediately, it'll happen organically. However, when it comes to our MOU, we're defining those terms in terms of how to engage. And aside from how they engage with our youngsters, in terms of our community, so community, you'll have a say in terms of the permanent placement, or if there is a vacancy that needs to be filled. It's no longer going to be, okay, hey, DPD, who do you have? Send them on over. No, this is going to be an intimate, collaborative decision-making process. Dr. Marrero also talked about the allegations of an isolation room at McAuliffe International School that was being misused for discipline, and he is waiting on the official results of the investigation, but did emphasize the needs for more constructive counseling and de-escalation techniques, a greater focus on mental health issues. He is a former counselor himself in his career. But my co-worker Veronica Acosta is also out here at East High School because, as we mentioned, the parents became very vocal in those discussions, very active in what this new safety plan here on campus would look like. Veronica.
They did, and you know, parents here at East High and at other DPS schools, they asked for some changes when it came to security. Some of those parents actually banding together and creating the Parent Safety Advocacy Group, or PSAG, and they have been to meetings as a part of that group. They have held press conferences right here where we're standing this morning. They've even gone directly to board members with their concerns, and I spoke to one parent who's a part of the group who told me his sophomore son's going to be coming back to East High this year, and as you can probably imagine, he's concerned about some of those changes. He knows that SROs will now be on campus, but he says he's still very much on edge.
We remain nervous, and we feel like not enough has been done. Certainly, you know, there have been a few steps in the right direction, but a lot more feels like it needs to be done.
And PSAG isn't just made up of current DPS parents, former teachers, and also former parents joined the group after 2 deans were shot back in March. Celeste Archer is one of them. She helped the group get its expectations of security measures to board members. These are expectations that include things like if a student has been accused of a crime or a felony, or even has an ankle monitor, then maybe a traditional school setting may not be the right place for them. Archer told me all this group wants is safety in their schools.
Our kids are scared. Our kids are scared to death. We want to make sure that kids feel comfortable being at ease.
And Brian, parents didn't just come up with these expectations, they also plan on having them printed on front pages of local papers here in town. And I can tell you that these parents, they also plan on going to the public comment portion of today's meeting that DPS is going to have. So like you mentioned, these are very vocal parents that don't plan on stopping anytime soon.
Yeah, it could be a very busy night for the Denver Public School Board, but certainly a lot of options to consider, and you can hear some of that anxiety carrying over from last year. Thank you, Veronica. We did examine results from Chalkbeat, Colorado, who reviewed the numbers from the tickets and citations and arrests that were made by SROs last school year and found that they were lower than they were at the schools pre-pandemic. In 2019 and 2020, there were 30 arrests at the 13 campuses where the SROs will be. Last year, just 18, so a 40% drop. 160 tickets given out in 2019 and 2020. Last year, 75, so a 53% decrease. A majority of the tickets, 57 of the 75, were for assault or public fighting. Denver Schools policy for reinstating the SROs requires the district to monitor tickets and arrests to ensure that marginalized students are not disproportionately affected. So coming up, Nicole, we will hear about another district that has a different approach to some of these calls and partnering a law enforcement official with a mental health clinician to try and address some of the mental health strains and pressures that the students are feeling. But right now, this morning here at East High School and across Denver Public Schools, hopefully it's just first day of school, nerves and excitement. Here at East High School, it's just the freshmen reporting today. They got to find their classes, got to meet their teachers, meeting a lot of new faces, and so hopefully it's the only thing that they're feeling, just kind of the normal first day excitement. You never want to ask a senior where to find your class, right? They're going to point you in the wrong direction. So just freshmen today.
I couldn't get my locker open on the first day, you know, it was a nightmare. But no, it gets
Work
better.
out all the kinks today. Yeah.
It's all normal. Okay, well, we have been talking a lot about back to school for preschool through 12th grade with Denver Public Schools back today. That means K through 12 schools are all back in session, but colleges and universities are also starting to go back as well. Today's the first day of class for CSU in Fort Collins, UNC Greeley, School of Mines in Golden, Regis University, and CU Denver in the Community College of Denver on the Auraria campus. Now, CU Boulder students get a little more time. Classes start next Monday, but today is the day they move into the dorms. And Denver7's Wanye Reeves is in Boulder this morning. Obviously, this is such a big day, but don't forget those shower shoes. That's my advice for those kids this morning, Wanye.
Very, very good advice. Good morning to you, Nicole. That's right. Shower shoes, all the must-haves that you need to move into your dorm room. That's what students are going to have starting today. Now, move-in starts here at CU Boulder today, and it's going to be running through this Thursday. I want to go ahead and give you a live look, my friends, of the CU Boulder campus right now. That's what you're seeing on your screen. And for the people who live here in Boulder, you're probably used to a lot of traffic. Streets like Broadway, Arapahoe, and also Baseline going to be very congested this week as the move-in process continues here in Boulder. With that, you can expect all the local stores to be busy. King Soopers, Safeway, the drugstores, you know how it is. You got to get mom and dad or your guardian to get you all the good stuff before they go ahead and they leave you for good. And of course, we have a lot of students who are going to be living on campus, correct? But you also have those students who might be returning sophomores or juniors or even graduate students who are going to be living off of campus, just like homes like these ones that I'm standing in front of right now. Now, over the weekend, I did get the opportunity to speak with the CU president, and he had some words of encouragement and advice, not only for freshmen, but transfer students and all of those students who are going to be returning. Go ahead and take a listen.
CU Denver and UCCS have already done their move-ins, and they went very well, very smoothly, and we're excited for the students to roll up their sleeves and get to work and maybe have a little bit of fun along the way. we do everything we can to help students find their place, to help students feel like they belong, to help them find a community that they're comfortable with, that they want to connect with.
The president sharing with me that it's going to be all hands on deck to help these students move in this week, Nicole. And one tidbit that I thought was pretty cool is it's not going to be hundreds of students each day just coming to move in. They actually have students go ahead and schedule their move-in time. So, you know, I like to call it a little bit of controlled chaos, right?
Yeah, it is. And that's smart because I know there is very little parking. So you'll be carrying that stuff away, schlepping it from far away. Yes, thank you, Wanya.